every year. Thousands of people pay thousands of dollars to have their body fat literally frozen or lasered or just blasted with sound waves.
Yeah, it's a huge industry.
Right. But here's the crazy part that, like, most people don't even realize. Those expensive machines don't actually make the fat disappear into thin air.
No, not at all.
After the treatment, the fat just, sits there inside you, just waiting for your body's own internal plumbing to eventually flush it out.
It is a massive biological loophole,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, you can use the most advanced technology in the world to destroy a fat cell.
Mm-hmm.
But if the human body's waste disposal system is sluggish, well, absolutely nothing happens. The client sees zero results.
And today, we are looking at a blueprint that shows exactly how to build a highly lucrative business around that exact biological reality.
Yeah, we really are.
We are diving into a really unique document for this deep dive. It's Kanye White's 10-step guide to starting a successful body contouring business.
Which is such a fascinating read.
It is. And for context, Tanya owns Body Slim. That's Australia's #1 training academy in this space. She brings over 16 years of industry experience and 2 diplomas in nursing to the table.
Right, and she's trained over 800 students globally.
Which makes this document so much more than just, a typical business manual.
Exactly. Even if you, listening right now, have zero intention of ever opening a salon, this guide is basically a masterclass in modern entrepreneurship.
Yeah, totally.
We are looking at an industry where the strict demands of business logistics, so things like liability insurance, financing, marketing, they collide head-on with human physiology.
It's a fascinating intersection.
Yeah.
I mean, you are taking a biological process and wrapping a profitable, legally compliant business around it.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this, because you can't just, buy a random laser online, plug it in, and start charging people.
Well, absolutely not. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, you need to know the specific biological mechanisms you are selling. And Tanya warns against these training programs that promise unrealistic overnight wealth.
Because they completely fail to teach how these treatments function, like both as physical interventions and as actual business assets.
Right. So she advocates for building a highly specific portfolio of treatments. You need a mix of modalities to cater to, different biological needs and different business pacing.
Yeah, she highlights 4 core treatments to start with. The first is cryolipolysis, which is commonly known as fat freezing.
Okay.
Then you have laser lipolysis, high-intensity muscle stimulation, and finally, fat cavitation paired with radiofrequency.
I really want to break down how these actually work, because the science is just wild.
It really is.
So with cryolipolysis, we aren't just, giving the fat frostbite, right?
No. We are exploiting a specific cellular vulnerability. Fat cells are significantly more sensitive to cold than skin or muscle tissue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so cryolipolysis applies precisely controlled cooling to target areas. The temperature drops just low enough to trigger apoptosis.
Wait, apoptosis?
Yeah, that's the biological term for programmed cell death.
Wow.
So it triggers that in the fat cells without damaging the surrounding skin or nerves. And once those cells die, the body's immune system sends in macrophages to essentially, eat and clear away the cellular debris.
And from a business logistics standpoint, Tanya points out that this treatment is entirely passive for the operator.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you hook the client up, ensure the temperature protocols are safe, and then you are basically free to leave the room.
You can go answer emails, manage bookings, or...
treat another client.
Exactly. It is a high-margin, multitask-friendly revenue stream.
Okay, so then you look at something like laser lipolysis, which operates on a completely different biological principle.
Right. Instead of cold, it uses low-level laser energy to alter the chemistry of the fat cell.
So how does that work? Does it melt it?
Not exactly. The laser actually creates temporary microscopic pores in the cell membrane.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so the stored fatty acids and glycerol inside the cell, they leak out through these pores. It causes the fat cell to shrink down like a deflated balloon.
Oh, wow. That's such a great visual, like a deflated balloon.
Right. And again, it's mostly passive, it's pain-free, and highly appealing to a certain demographic of clients.
But then you have fat cavitation and radiofrequency, which kind of flips the business model. Tanya notes this one is highly active.
Very active. The operator has to physically massage the client with the device for the entire session.
So why do they have to do that?
Well, cavitation is fascinating because it uses low-frequency ultrasound waves. These sound waves penetrate the skin and create microscopic bubbles.
Bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles in the interstitial fluid surrounding the fat cells. And these bubbles rapidly expand and collapse, creating a tiny shock wave.
Wait, so there are tiny shock waves happening inside the tissue.
Exactly. The pressure is enough to rupture the membrane of the fat cell, spilling its contents.
That is intense.
It is. And because it's paired with radiofrequency, which heats the deeper layers of the skin to stimulate collagen production and tighten the area, the results are often visible immediately after the session.
Okay, so I love looking at this through the lens of building a restaurant menu.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Right. You need your appetizers, the things that are quick to prep, high margin, and don't tie up your head chef for an hour.
Right, like the fat freezing and laser lipo.
Exactly.
Ah,
They pay the rent while you multitask. But you also need your show-stopping main courses.
the ones that take real effort.
Yeah, the labor-intensive, perfectly executed dishes that make people leave a glowing 5-star review and tell all their friends. That's your hands-on cavitation and RF.
That's a really great way to look at it.
You need the immediate, visible results of the active treatments to build client trust and the passive treatments to keep the profit margins healthy.
And that balance of time and client expectation, I mean, that is the hallmark of a mature business model. But here's the catch we mentioned earlier. You can have the most strategically balanced menu of services in the world, utilizing all of this incredible technology. But if you ignore the biological bottleneck of the human body,
It all falls apart.
every single one of those treatments will fail.
This was the biggest aha moment in the guide for me. Because we've talked about popping fat cells with sound waves, freezing them to death, deflating them with lasers.
Right.
But as we established, the fat doesn't magically teleport out of the body.
No, it doesn't. What's fascinating here is that Tanya identifies the lymphatic system as the missing link of body contouring.
The lymphatic system.
Yeah, the lymphatic system is essentially the body's sanitation department. It is a vast network of vessels and nodes responsible for filtering out toxins, cellular waste, and in this case, the lipids and cellular debris created by contouring treatments.
But unlike the circulatory system, which has the heart constantly pumping blood around the clock, the lymphatic system doesn't have a central pump.
Exactly. It relies entirely on physical movement, muscle contraction, and gravity to push the lymph fluid through the vessels.
Which is a problem.
A huge problem. Because if a person has a sedentary lifestyle or they don't drink enough water, their lymphatic system becomes sluggish and congested.
So think about the implication there. A client pays thousands of dollars. They come into the salon, lie completely still on a table for an hour while you rupture their fat cells, and then they go home and sit at a desk for 8 hours. The machine did its job perfectly. The fat cells are broken down.
Right.
But because their biological garbage trucks are parked, the waste just sits there in the tissue. The body might even reabsorb some of it.
And the client won't see a change on the measuring tape. They will assume the machine is a scam, they will leave a terrible review, and the business suffers.
Not because the technology failed.
Exactly, not because the tech failed, but because the biological plumbing was ignored.
So wait, a major reason a business might fail or get bad reviews is actually due to a biological plumbing bottleneck? That is wild to me.
It really is. But Tanya has a solution to this.
Yeah, the G5.
Right, the G5 vibration massage body sculpting machine. Instead of hoping the client, goes for a long run after the treatment, the salon owner takes control of the plumbing.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
The G5 delivers a deep mechanical vibration massage that basically acts as an artificial pump. It forces the circulation of that stagnant lymph fluid and aggressively pushes the broken down fat toward the lymph nodes for processing.
It guarantees the waste removal phase of the treatment.
Yeah, and structurally, it's brilliant. You are taking a biological variable that is normally completely out of the business owner's control, the client's lifestyle, and you're solving it in-house before they even leave the building.
And the economics of this blew my mind. I mean, you might have $10,000 or $15,000 tied up in medical-grade cryolipolysis and cavitation machines.
Easily.
But the safety net that ensures those massive investments actually produce results is this G5 machine.
Yeah.
Tanya lists the starter package for the G5 at just 499 Australian dollars.
That's nothing compared to the other equipment.
Right. A tiny fraction of the cost secures the efficacy of the entire business model.
And she also bundles that $499 cased version of the machine with 30 free social media posts.
Which is smart.
Very smart. The strategy is to immediately market this new biological insurance policy to your existing client base to recoup the cost on day one.
Okay, so you have the biology mapped out. You have the machines breaking down the fat and the G5 pumping it out of the system. The physical product works.
Yes.
But you can't just run a medical-grade ultrasonic device out of your spare bedroom and casually ask people for money.
No, you definitely cannot do that.
You have to legitimize the hustle.
And the transition from a biological service to a legally compliant business is where so many entrepreneurs stumble.
For sure.
Tanya maps out the bureaucracy and branding required to create a shield around the business. And it actually starts with naming psychology.
Yeah, she advises against overly generic names. Like, if you want to command high-ticket prices, she suggests using your surname, like White Body Sculpt.
Right, because it implies personal accountability and builds immediate trust.
Or she recommends leaning heavily into local identifiers like Ballarat Body Sculpt to capture the local search engine traffic.
Because in the medical aesthetics industry, proximity and local trust are your two biggest drivers. People don't want to drive 3 hours for a weekly contouring session, and they really need to trust the person operating the machine.
Yeah, nobody wants a stranger doing this to them.
Exactly. So once that brand is established, the absolute first legal step in Australia is acquiring an ABN, an Australian business number.
She emphasizes that without an ABN, you are financially paralyzed.
Completely.
Like, you can't register a .com.au domain name, which is vital for that local trust factor we just talked about. And more importantly, you cannot access capital.
Right. You can't get no deposit finance for medical-grade equipment, and you can't set up payment gateways like Afterpay.
Which is essential since BodySlim and most salons rely heavily on payment plans for these high-ticket bundles.
But the most critical bureaucratic hurdle, the thing that dictates whether you are running a legitimate salon or a massive legal liability, is the TGA.
Okay, the Therapeutic Goods Administration. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah. The TGA is the regulatory body in Australia that oversees medical devices and claims. If a salon owner creates an Instagram ad and claims, our new laser offers permanent removal of fat cells.
Which sounds like a standard ad, honestly.
It does, but they have officially crossed the line from cosmetic marketing into making a medical claim.
Ah. So the TGA is like a strict bouncer at an exclusive club.
Yes.
But they aren't just checking your ID at the door. If you want to get into the VIP section, which means accessing the wealthy clientele by making high-value, permanent fat loss claims, you have to prove to the bouncer that the claims on your flyer match the actual mechanical output of your machine.
Exactly.
You have to literally hand the TGA the clinical trial data, proving your specific device destroys the cell wall.
And if your equipment does not have that rigorous TGA approval, the bouncer turns you away. If you try to sneak past and run those ads anyway using cheap, unapproved imported machines, the consequences are severe.
Because it triggers a domino effect with your business insurance.
Yes.
Tanya dedicates an entire section to this. You need insurance to cover the basics, like someone trips on a cord, someone breaks in and steals your $10,000 cavitation machine.
Right.
Or a client has an unexpected physical reaction to a treatment.
But insurance companies rely on risk mitigation. If a client sues you claiming a burn from a laser or even just disputes the efficacy of the results, the insurance investigator will check your equipment.
And if you don't have the approval.
If you used non-TGA approved machinery to perform a treatment that made medical claims, you are operating outside the bounds of the law.
Oh, wow.
The insurance company will void your coverage entirely, leaving the business owner personally liable.
So TGA compliance isn't just about client safety, it is the financial armor of the business. So let's look at where we are. The machines are perfectly calibrated. The biological plumbing is being manually drained by the G5.
Check.
The ABN is registered, the insurance premiums are paid, and the TGA has verified your clinical data. You are bulletproof.
Yep.
But the salon is completely empty. How do you get clients to trust you enough to get on the table?
The final phase of Tanya's guide shifts from operational logistics into the marketing engine. She lays out a highly specific digital ecosystem designed to build authority before the client ever walks in the door.
Right. And she doesn't just say, like, make a social media account. She actually segments the platforms by psychological intent.
Yes.
Instagram is positioned as the visual portfolio. That is where you establish proof. Before and after photos, aesthetic treatment videos, the visual evidence that the biology works.
While Facebook, on the other hand, is utilized for community building.
Okay.
That's where you gather local reviews, engage with neighborhood groups, and run local promotional offers.
And she even targets TikTok, but with a very specific angle, myth-busting.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, because the body contouring industry faces a lot of natural skepticism. Using short-form video to explain the science like how the lymphatic system processes the fat builds incredible authority with a younger demographic.
And crucially, she emphasizes Google My Business. While not a traditional social network, optimizing a local Google profile is weaponized SEO.
Definitely.
When someone in the area searches fat freezing near me, showing up first with verified local reviews is the highest converting traffic a salon can get.
But I look at that list, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, SEO optimization, and I just think about a solo entrepreneur who just spent all their mental energy learning the biology of apoptosis and navigating government compliance.
It's a lot.
Expecting them to also become a full-time digital marketing agency is a recipe for extreme burnout.
Which is the primary reason new salons fail. Decision fatigue.
Right.
Tanya recognizes this bottleneck, which is why her overarching strategy relies on a pre-built ecosystem. She mentions an upcoming platform, Bodhi Slim Socials, designed to provide ready-made, fact-checked content.
Oh, that's incredibly helpful.
And she grants access to a VIP Facebook support page that acts as a hive mind for treatment mapping guides and business plan templates.
She even offers one-on-one mentoring for a few $100s, like $297 or $299, to keep owners accountable. But the ultimate manifestation of this ecosystem is her complete salon starter package.
Yes, the starter package.
This is the master key to the whole operation. It's valued at over $4,000, but she sells it to students for just under 2,000 Australian dollars.
And the contents of that package are a masterclass in removing friction for a new business owner.
Right.
You receive a one-on-one strategy call, you get a done-for-you business plan that already maps out pricing structures and income projections so you aren't guessing your margins.
That alone is huge.
You learn her trademarked contour EQ technique. And perhaps most significantly, you are handed 150 ready-to-use social media posts on day one.
I have to push back on that slightly, though. If every single student who takes Tanya's course buys this package, aren't there just going to be hundreds of local salons posting the exact same 150 Instagram graphics?
I see what you mean.
Like, how do you avoid looking like a corporate bot?
It is a valid concern, but it goes back to the branding foundations we discussed earlier. The pre-made posts provide the heavy lifting. The clinical explanations of cavitation, the infographics on lymphatic drainage, the professional aesthetic.
Okay.
The salon owner pairs those educational templates with their personal, localized branding. They intersperse the templates with genuine before and after photos of their own local clients.
Got it.
The templates ensure the feed is constantly active and clinically accurate, while the local flavor differentiates the business.
Think about your own job or field. How valuable would it be to have 150 days of your marketing completely done for you by an industry veteran on day one?
It's massive.
It essentially gives an independent owner the operational support of a massive franchise.
Yes.
You get the autonomy of having your surname on the door, but you don't have to spend your weekends desperately trying to design a flyer about radio frequency. You plug into the Contour IQ ecosystem, and you focus entirely on the client experience.
It's business in a box, heavily engineered to ensure the student succeeds, which, by extension, reinforces the reputation of the Bodhi Slim Academy.
So what does this all mean? When we zoom out and look at the blueprint Tanya White has provided, it is an incredible journey.
It really is.
We started by understanding that fat freezing and cavitation aren't magic tricks. They are biological triggers that rely entirely on the mechanical pumping of the lymphatic system to actually remove waste.
Yes.
We learned that ignoring the strict TGA regulations isn't just bad marketing. It will actively void your insurance and destroy your business.
Absolutely.
And finally, we saw how plugging all of that scientific and legal groundwork into a pre-built digital marketing ecosystem allows a solo entrepreneur to compete at a massive level.
It provides a comprehensive roadmap for success in this specific niche. But analyzing this entire structure leaves us with a rather profound implication regarding the evolution of the beauty industry itself.
Oh, where do you see it heading?
Well, consider the traditional beauty salon from a few decades ago. The services were almost entirely surface-level aesthetics. Hairstyling, makeup application, maybe some basic skincare. It was strictly cosmetic.
Right. Very straightforward.
But today,
Yeah.
we have transitioned into an era of non-invasive, highly technical body sculpting.
It's completely different.
The individuals operating these modern salons must understand the cellular nuances of apoptosis. They must manually manipulate the human lymphatic system. They have to navigate strict medical compliance laws, interpret clinical trial data for the TGA, and operate complex medical-grade ultrasonic machinery.
It is an astronomical leap in technical and biological requirements.
Precisely. And as these advanced medical technologies become increasingly accessible and plug and play through comprehensive training packages like Tanya's, a serious question emerges.
What's that?
Where exactly is the line drawn today between a traditional beauty salon and a specialized medical clinic?
Oh, wow.
That boundary is blurring faster than the regulations can keep up. It is absolutely something to ponder the next time you scroll past an advertisement for body contouring on your feed. Are you looking at a beautician? Or are you looking at a highly specialized, biologically focused entrepreneur wielding medical-grade power?
That completely shifts the perspective. The bouncer at the VIP club isn't just checking for a nice logo anymore. They are checking your clinical credentials.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Hopefully the next time you see a dramatic before and after photo, you'll know exactly how much cellular science, mechanical plumbing, and legal paperwork went into making it happen.